Oh, that looks fantastic. Everything came together, everything fits. I like how it all worked out. This is gonna be an awesome upgrade for my truck. What's up, guys? In this video, I'm gonna be installing a new brake master cylinder on my 68 F100. I just finished installing the new 15-inch big brake kit from Range Industries on the front of my truck. So now I need the properly sized master cylinder to go with these brakes. I also have that S550 rear end on the back of the truck with disc brakes. So I wanna make sure I've got the right brake setup for the brakes that I have. I also am gonna install a proportioning valve so that I can control the distribution from the front and the rear brakes. Real quick, I want to go over what was included in the kit that I picked for my truck. Now I've got a Wilwood master cylinder with a 15/16 inch bore, and then I've got, these are the pieces that come with that, so we can put the caps on this side, and we're going to put the fittings on this side, and of course you could do that other side if you wanted to do that in your setup. And then we've got the proportioning valve. This is the bracket that's going to mount it along with where it mounts on the firewall. And then we're going to put in the brake lines from the master cylinder up top here, and then we're going to go out to the 2 in the front and 1 in the rear. And this will allow me, again, to dial in the brake in the, cutting out the rear brake if I want more front brake, whatever I want to do. Here's the fittings that go with that. And then if you didn't have a brake, my brake switch is on the brake pedal and the pedal assembly inside the truck, so I don't need this. But if you didn't have that or wanted to use it, this is also a brake switch, so you can plug this up and use it to activate your brake lights, and then just a boot that goes over that. So that's what's included in this kit. Let's get the one in my truck uninstalled. Real quick, I wanted to point out, I've obviously got the front of the truck torn apart. I've got another project that I'm working on, so you don't have to do this to replace your master cylinder, although it's going to make it a lot easier to do this while I've got everything taken apart. But if the fenders and the fender aprons and everything were still in here, you could reach in here and you can get it done. First, I'm going to go after these two 9/16 bolts holding the master cylinder to the firewall. Now that we've got this in here, I want to disconnect the brake lines from this. Just a heads up, you're going to drop fluid everywhere, so it's a good idea to have a towel down. You really don't want any of this brake fluid on anything that's painted. Now, it probably would have been easier to at least break these free before when it was bolted to the firewall, but that's okay, we'll get it. Now these two lines, this is for the front and the rear. They go down into a distribution block and they split up to where there's 2 lines in the front and 1 line in the rear. We want to take these lines out because we're not going to use these lines. We want to have 3 lines that are coming out of that proportioning valve. So we're going to have to get a couple of new lines, and then that distribution block that's down there sitting inside the frame rail, we can get rid of that guy because we're not going to need that anymore. So I'm going to raise the truck up so I can get to that. But before I do that real quick, I'm going to get this pedal disconnected, or this push rod disconnected from the brake pedal. And I can't do that when it's up on the lift. So let me do that real quick. All right, to go ahead and take out the push rod, it was simple. Just had a 9/16 socket and a 3/4 inch wrench, and take the bolt out, and then the push rod comes right off of the pedal. All right, up we go. Yeah, so now here's the distribution block that I was talking about. Obviously with a lift, it's a lot easier to get to it, but if the truck was on the ground, you can crawl underneath and get to it the same. So we want to disconnect all these lines and take everything apart, because I'm not going to use this block anymore, because we're going to run everything up into that proportioning valve that I've got now. Now before I take this bracket off of the frame, I think we're going to loosen up all of these joints here, and it's going to take a 3/8 up here, and it looks like these are 7/16 down here on the bottom. Yeah, it's kind of hard to show what I was doing in there. To break all these free, it's best to use these flare wrenches, or you're going to strip these things on here. These haven't been touched in 60 years, so they were on there pretty tight. But now they got them all broken free. I'm gonna go ahead and unthread them all, and then we can take this bracket off. You are gonna lose fluid that's in the lines, so just have some towels ready for that. Now that all those lines are just been unthreaded from this block, we can go ahead and take it off the frame. And it's just a 9/16 bolt, and there's a nut on this side. So we'll take that off and get this guy out of here. We could probably take these out now. These are the 2 lines that went up to the old master cylinder. So we can get those guys out of there. I don't think there's any reason to throw this stuff away. You may need it, but we're not gonna need it for the project that I'm doing now. All right, we're done. This also might be a brake wire. I don't know if this is just something that was left over and the previous owners rewired the brake line. So I'm just gonna leave this off to the side from now. I don't need this, but we do need, let's see, this line right here, this goes to the rear. These two are my front lines, and I'm gonna keep this, guys. This is my Crown Vic line that I have, and this has got a metric fitting here and a converter to a standard fitting, which means that this guy right here is a 3/8 24 thread. So I'm gonna keep that. But this line right here, this is also a 3/8 24 line. This is the stock line, and it comes out here to my braided line for the brakes. I might replace just this whole piece because I don't need to have this old bent line. We might just get a new one and come from up there down here to all these three. So this is a 7/16 20, and these two are 3/8 24. So that's when I need to get the adapters and lines to fit all that stuff so I can make it all work. Now, because my proportioning valve has 3/8 24 fittings on the bottom here, all three of these, I need to convert this rear line. So I'm gonna use just, went to my local hardware store, my auto parts store, and I got a, what is this, a 3/8 24 to 7/16 24 male, and then I had to get a coupler for it so that I can hook up to that. There might be something you could buy out there that's all this in one, but buying what I have here in town. And then, like I said, I'm gonna keep this line. I'm just gonna bend it up there and attach a new line to it. But this one I'm gonna pull out of here. I'm just gonna unthread it from up here and just remove that whole line, since it's not gonna be long enough to reach all the way up there and stuff. And plus it's all kind of an old, crusty line anyway, so let me get it out of there and get this stuff put in. And before I bench bleed this master cylinder, I want to address the length of the push rod here. And the reason why is the distance from the firewall to the brake pedal isn't very far. And this is actually probably, it might be longer than I need it to be. So I might have to modify this. I've got the adjustable push rod that I had in my previous setup, and I put a little mark on here where it would have met right here, because it sat inside the master cylinder, much kind of like that. And so if you can see, if I put it in the same spot, see how much further this sticks out? So there isn't much room for this and stuff. So I might have to cut this down. I might have to cut this piece down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mock it up, throw it in the truck here, and see where, if I need to cut this up and see how that goes before, because modifying all this after the thing's been bled is gonna be a lot harder to do. So let's do this first. I apologize, the lighting's not the best, but so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. You can see the hole in the brake pedal lever, and I need the end of this to be much shorter than it is so that I can put this eyelet on the end there with this union threaded coupling part here. So I'm gonna have to cut that shorter, and I'm definitely gonna have to cut this shorter. Problem is you don't want to cut too much because you can't add it back. So let's get that done. All right, guys, it's incredibly difficult to see in here. I'm sorry about that, but I just saved you all the hassle of me cutting it down and adjusting and everything. So what I've got here is, let's put the bolt in. There, again, it's kind of hard to see, but that bolt is sitting in there, and the pedal is all the way back, which is what we want. It's all the way against the rest here, and everything's good and adjusted. Awesome. And real quick, I wanted to point out something. Here's what I cut off of this piece and this piece. And the trick, when you cut these off, if you leave like this jam nut on there and you cut the thread short, you can take that jam nut off and it'll clean up the end of the threads wherever you cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock this down because we got to the right setting that we want. And now we can bleed the master cylinder. So to prep this for bleeding, what we want to do is we want to plug these two ports, because the proportioning valve is going to sit on this side and use these ports. And it comes with the plugs in the kit. So we've got a washer for both, and then we've got to just tighten them up with a 3/4 inch wrench. And the bleeding kit comes with the master cylinder, and I don't think I pointed this out when I was putting all the stuff that we had here earlier, but you've got these two tubes, and what we've got here is this little guy. It's gonna sit on top like so, and then we're gonna feed these two lines into each side here. You wanna touch them all the way down to the bottom so we don't get any air up through them. And then on the other end, we're gonna find whatever fittings fit here, and I think it's these black ones. Yeah, we use the black ones on this side. And don't over tighten these. These are made of plastic, so they will strip out if you're not careful. But we just need them just tight enough so that it'll seal it up and won't let any fluid leak out. Put the tubes on here. There we go, just like that. And the reason why we're going to do this is we want to get the air out of the valve that's down here already. If you don't bench bleed this, it'll be incredibly difficult to bleed your brake system down the road. I'll switch to that side since it'll hold it a little better. All right, let's put it in the vise. Actually, first I'm going to unthread this. Because this was already bottomed out, I know where the setting was on there, and I tightened that jam nut, so we're good for the setting on this. I'll take this off, and it's a good time to go ahead and put this boot on here, because we want to have this in place when we install it in the truck. And then there's a lip on here that will fit inside that groove. There, that's ready to go. So Wilwood does include the bleeder instructions on how to do this, but the short of it is, once we get this set up, we're going to push this plunger in slow and steady and get the bubbles out. We're going to see some bubbles in the line here. And what we don't want is the fluid to get soaked back up through the tubes, because then we could introduce air back into the line. And you want to go all the way until this thing bottoms out. Again, just slow and steady and firm, and you'll get there. Once you're done bleeding this system, you can go ahead and pull these tubes out, and we could put the lid on with this rubber boot piece that goes on here. Careful, you don't want to spill fluid everywhere if you can help it. And when we slide this on here and you put the lid on, it does come with these fasteners right here for holding this lid on. But what I don't like is if you ever take the lid off to service this, or while you're bleeding your brakes, taking these off and on, these are kind of hard to get to, especially this one on the back. So I've got these thumb screws. In fact, you guys can get these on my website, KruseBuilt.com, and they're just gonna thumb right in here and hold everything in place, and they're gonna be easy to remove. You don't need a special tool to get this lid off now. You can just use these thumb screws. Perfect. Now we're going to take off these tubes here on the side, and we're going to thread in. I'm going to use the smaller fittings. There's a little bit larger set that come with it. I'm not going to use those bigger ones. I'm going to use the smaller ones because we're going to go right into that proportioning valve. And don't forget the washer that goes with it. Okay, now for this guy. This can be a little bit tricky, putting everything in the right order. So what we've got here, we've got two fittings, and this crazy looking one's going to go in the front. We're just going to leave it loose for now, and the short one goes in the back. And what we're going to want to do is put them on here, and then we need to bolt it to the bracket using the spacer that's going to go in between here and these bolts. And it's just a little bit of finesse to try to get everything to line up just right. That wasn't too bad. And again, using these flare wrenches sure does make it easier on these fittings so you don't strip anything out. And then this guy, it's going to share the two bolts that are going to bolt this to the firewall. It's going to sit underneath here like that. And then I'm going to have to bend this in just a little bit to get everything to line up here. So again, just a little bit of patience and finesse to try to get everything lined up. All right, now we're in place. Took a little bit extra finagling to get everything to fit, and I put these fasteners in here so you can see how it would mock up there on the firewall, and when you tighten it up, it'll suck everything down and we'll be good to go. So this is what we want. This is the setup, and we'll talk about the valve later, but for now, this is ready to be put in the truck. I probably should point out, I put these little caps in here just to plug this up because we don't want any fluid coming out of here and running down and leaking out of these as I try to set everything up. And it's taking me a little longer because I'm trying to run the camera and everything. You guys might be a little faster with setting up your lines, but I also need to form my lines for down there. So I just got these little 3/8/24 caps to just stick in here and plug that up. That buys us some time so we're not leaking fluid everywhere. Awesome. Now everything looks fantastic. And we were able to get that bolt in there. Again, it's kind of hard to see, but the pedal is attached and everything's good to go. So the next part is hooking up the lines from the bottom of this proportioning valve. I got one there for the driver front. This is the driver or the passenger front, and then the rear one is back down there. So this is where you can kind of get creative and bend the lines how you want and get real creative and I'm not that kind of guy. I'm just gonna form up some lines, and I'm limited to what my parts dealer has here in town. You know, if you order something online, you can get maybe the exact size you want, or if you guys are savvy enough, you can build your own lines with these flared ends and stuff like that. But I'm gonna see what I can put together to get this thing formed up. All right, I know that I am definitely not made for bending these tubes. I struggled a little bit trying to get this stuff to work out. I was able to do it without having to waste any pieces, and I used a 20-inch, a 30-inch, and a 40-inch piece to make all this happen. The 40-inch one went down through here into the frame and up to the front here, but so in case you guys are trying to recreate that. And then I think they're supposed to put these loops in there. I don't know why. I've always seen it done like that, and there's probably a really good reason, but I just figured I better do it just because, you know, also it helps soak up some of the extra lines, so we're good there. And nothing's gonna be rattling and touching. I made sure everything clears back here, so we're in a good spot. And good thing I had those plugs in there, because as soon as I take them out, it started dripping everywhere and gave me time to do this. And it took me about an hour to get all this stuff wrapped up, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Real quick, let's talk about the valve. So to do this valve and put this on here, what we're doing is we're gonna limit how much goes to the back brakes. And what I mean by that, if we put this thing all the way down to the bottom, which I'm not gonna do, but if you screw it all the way in, it's essentially opening up this valve, and so there's nothing restricting the rear brakes. And because the truck is light in the back, it's easy to lock up the rear brakes. We don't wanna lock up the rears. That can get you in trouble. You can spin the vehicle around. So what we wanna do is dial that out. And if you go all the way the other direction to where it's all the way out, all the way up top here, that's gonna limit how much goes to the rear. And we don't want to overpower the rear. So if you find that we're all the way up and we go and we do some tests and we lock up the fronts and not the rears, we can dial this in a little bit and then go until we can start to lock up the rears just before the front, and then we'll take it back a half a turn back out. So that we don't want to overpower the rear. That's the whole point of this, and I'll dial that in when I get the truck done. So that's what that's for. All right, guys, this is a good place to stop. Of course, I've got to put the rest of the truck back together, so I can't do anything. You don't want to forget, you do need to bleed the brakes, and it's always best to start with the farthest one from the master cylinder, which will be the passenger rear tire, then the rear driver, front passenger, then front driver is the best way to do that, to get all that air out of the system. So having somebody help you, you can do that. There's also those vacuum bleed systems or whatever, and I had one time and I didn't have a lot of luck with it, so I like having somebody come help me. It gives me somebody to talk to while I'm doing this, so don't forget to bleed your brakes. And other than that, we're set to go. I'd like to, again, get the truck put back together, and then I'm gonna take the truck out and I gotta dial in, I gotta seat these new brakes. I got these brand new brakes on here. I haven't even touched them yet, so I gotta go out and seat those pads, and I wanna dial this in and then do kind of a review on this whole brake setup compared to what I had with that Crown Vic setup and everything. So remember, this truck started with drum brakes, front and rear. Now I've got 15-inch rotors in the front, and then those S550 rear, those rotors in the rear from the Mustang. So I'm pumped. I can't wait to get this going. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.